So it looks like the next step in the continuing attack on English by this government, by the CAC government, is going to take its toll on university students, those coming from other places in Canada or from abroad. And this, by the way, is not simply a matter of money. Let's not make that mistake. That would have been fine to say, well, we're going to make it more expensive. But this is all about, as the minister said at the time, all about the fact that too many of these foreign students coming here end up speaking English on the street, and they just can't have that. And this is specifically, it seems like against Montreal, but it includes Bishops. Mm-hmm. Bishops is not a Montreal. Bishops is in Lennoxville. It's in the townships. Why is that even an issue there? Marwah Rizqy is the liberal education critic. She's already posted about this and has agreed to come on with us today. Marwah, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start with this. I mean, this is clearly a very bad idea, and it's nice to see someone actually coming out against it in the Liberal Party. So what have you said? What are you planning to do?
Well, first and foremost, I'm pretty sure that this is coming from the CAC because they lost Jean Talon. They tried to change the topic. They're in panic mode. They tried with the troisième lien. Now they're going back to the game plan, which is attacking the English community again. Let's be honest here. Harvard, for us, is McGill. I used to go to University of Florida. And people were like, oh, are you coming from McGill? I'm like, no, I'm coming from University of Sherbrooke. But everyone knows about McGill outside of Canada. And we should be proud of McGill. We should be very proud of it. And actually, 2 weeks ago, Éric Girard, the Minister of Finance, but also the spokesperson for the English community, said one of the reasons there's an economic gap between Quebec and Ontario is because now we can see that University of Toronto, for the first time, is ahead of McGill. That was just before Jean Talon, and now they're changing and they're going against McGill. And I'm glad that you said they're also going against Bishop. When I used to be a tax law professor at the University of Sherbrooke, I can tell you one thing. University of Bishop is a small university that's doing very good work, and the University of Sherbrooke is very close with Bishop. The plan today they announced, it's a plan to close Bishop, a university in Lennoxville in the region, the only Anglophone institution in the region for the university. And I spoke with different chancellors and, of course, the three different universities, the Anglophone university. Back in April, Pascal Derry, the Minister of Higher Education, she asked the English university, can you please bring a plan to promote French? The three of them said, yes, we're going to do it. McGill was just about to announce $50 million. Let me repeat that. $50 million to promote French. But Pascal Derry asked them last week, hold on your plan because I'm coming with my plan, which is actually not to promote French, but to make sure that English would not be heard in Montreal.
This makes no sense to me.
It's hard to even know what to say to that. I will point out, by the way, if I heard this right, Marwah, the money, even if the additional money coming in here for foreign students that they would have to pay, that money would not be going to the universities. That money would be going to the government. Is that correct?
That's correct. But what money? Who's going to come now at $18,000? Because I do have the data. And right now, for different programs, let's take like the back in arts. It's about roughly $8,000 to $9,000 in other provinces. So who's going to pay $18,000 to go to Concordia when you can pay $8,000 or $9,000 in Ontario or Saskatchewan? Would you come here for $18,000? Of course not. And I have to tell you, if you only look for the grant that the government is giving, that's $9,000 per student, you're missing a whole picture here. You're missing also that the students that are coming here are part of the economy. They're going to pay taxes here. They're going to consume here. They're going to live here. And they're also going to work here. And if the problem, because Mrs. Derry said, but we do have a problem because we cannot retain them. All right. So why are you closing the program Expérience Québec to the English students who are capable to speak French and are capable to pass the exam in French just because they went to Concordia, Bishop, or McGill? So let's be honest here. Today, you just said that you don't want any English students. You should just be honest about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it sounds to me, and that's how I'm taking it. As someone who moved here as a teenager, went to Concordia, I came here to learn French and to be a part of this culture. I chose to live here and build a life here. I feel like I'm the perfect example of who they're saying, we don't want you. I know your husband, Greg Kelley, Liberal MNA for Jacques Cartier, is with you as well. So, Greg, I'll bring you in on this. Is there any other way for us to take this other than, no, you're not welcome here?
No, sorry. I wish there was another way to say this, Natasha. It is a pretty clear message. And the one thing that really I picked out yesterday from the piece in La Presse was when Mr. Robert said, that there's too much English being spoken on the streets of Montreal. And I just find that so insulting for so many English-speaking Quebecers and anyone else who is bilingual. If I'm speaking with my friend in English while I'm walking down the streets of Montreal, but I walk into a store and I speak in French with the shop owner, we're not talking about an issue to the French language. So yet again, it's kind of painting us, the English-speaking community, as a problem, and we're not. And this announcement today, and I've heard from constituents, I've heard from friends, it's so bad for our economy. We need to draw in talent. And yes, not every single student who comes here from another province or abroad stays. But like you, Natasha, and many others, they do stay, and they contribute to our society. So it's so hard for me. It's such a step back for our society when we start attacking access to knowledge. This is what this is about. It's going to learn, to gain skills and talent that people will bring to Quebec, but also elsewhere in the world. And that's something we should be proud of. If you look at studies that are done to talk about how Montreal is a great city, because we do a lot of good things here in Montreal, our universities are one of the reasons that make us great. It's one of the reasons why companies set up shop here. And we are going to lose talent. And with all the things that are going on, we cannot afford to not to have some of the brightest minds coming here. How will this impact research and development? How will this impact, donations? I really don't know. But down the line, it's extremely concerning. And just a final point, these universities are huge employers, and not just of English-speaking Quebecers, of all Quebecers. So what we're going to do, we're going to eventually, over the time, erode them, and people are going to perhaps have to lose their job because of this. I mean, in Bishops, if they actually had to close their doors, what would happen to it's a small university in the region. It's an important employer, and that's what they are potentially facing. I just find that this decision is so backwards, and it is so reactionary because the CAQ got creamed in a by-election. And I'm really worried too, Natasha and Aaron, that the race to the bottom to see who can treat, the minorities or whatever may be worse, is that what we're going to see? Like, it's just so hard. We should be trying to bring all of our resources and talents together because there's so many challenges facing our society right in front of us right now. And we need to be attacking that, not tearing each other down.
Greg Kelley, Liberal MNA for Jacques Cartier, and of course, official opposition critic for relations with English-speaking Quebecers, which are eroding, it would seem, by the minute. Marwah, Greg, thank you both so much. We appreciate it.
All the best.
Thank you.
All right. This brings us to our question of the day based on what you just heard.
Do they think we're stupid? Like, that's what's going through my head as I'm like, who's buying this? And anybody who is buying it, I mean, good God, no, just scratch slightly beneath the surface.